Now, Power BI is changing the way we analyze and visualize data, regardless of the data we want to generate the insight from. Now, when it comes to financial reporting and modeling, Power BI can provide a lot of insight and user experiences which you wouldn't find in static reports. Now, let me show you a sample of a Power BI report on financial analysis and financial modeling. So this is a sample of financial report that I prepared using the Netflix financial report for second quarter 2020. Now, if you take a look at this report, it has a lot of insight that we are providing to our users. Now, apart from that, we have almost all the new updates in Power BI being configured in this report. So let me take you through how the report is structured. So I have this slicer here, which helps you to filter the report based on the year. Then you also have one for the quarters. Then I also have this slicer here, which helps you to change the analysis that you want to do. So you can decide to look at the values here in terms of the actual values, or you can also look at it in terms of relative values. In this case, we are dividing all the items in the income statement by revenue. So you'll be able to see what percentage of those items are in terms of the total revenue. Then you can also look at it in terms of trend analysis, how the values have changed over time. They also have this button here, which helps you to switch the report from quarterly to annual. So here, if I want to look at it in terms of quarterly, you'll be able to see the performance on each of the quarters. If I want to change it to annual, I can click on this button and I'll be able to look at it in terms of the annual performance. So here I can change the analysis just like when you are viewing it in terms of quarters. In this case, we are looking at the trend analysis. Then you also have the relative analysis here. And if you want to look at the actual values, you'll be able to look at this. Now, apart from that, it also has a tooltip, which helps you to know how the value has grown within the quarters. So if you are looking at this value here, the total revenue for 2020, it gives you the actual values within each of the quarters. So 2020 quarter 1, what was the revenue? 2020 quarter 2, what was the revenue up to the last item? So if I pick 2019, it gives you the performance for each of the quarters up to the ending of 2019. Now, apart from that, we also have this button here, which is also giving you the KPI. So here we are looking at the net profit margin, and then we're also looking at the operating margin here, and then the interest cover. Now, one thing about this is that when you hover your mouse over it, it also gives you the rate or the ratio for the prior period. Then with the background too, you'll be able to see whether the current ratio is an improvement or there is a decrease in the performance. So here it tells you that we actually improved our net profit margin from that of the prior year. So when you hover your mouse over it, you tend to get the performance for that of the prior period as well. And then with an highlight indicating whether it's a positive change or a negative change. So with this, I can pick maybe third quarter here, and you can see that here we are having negative and the background is showing red for each of these KPIs here. Then we also have this smart narrative here, which is also giving us the performance highlight here. So when you scroll down and then you change your measures, it gives you the performance for that particular item in the current period as compared to the prior year. And then it also gives you the year-on-year change for that particular item. Now, apart from that, we also have this page navigation here, which helps you to move to the other elements or components of the financial statement. So here, if I want to move to the balance sheet, I can use this and I'll move straight to the balance sheet, which I also have a lot of KPIs and a lot of insight that you can also get from this report. So here we are viewing it in terms of the quarters. If you want to move to annual, you can also use this button and you'll be able to switch the annual report. Here, I can also move to the cash flow statement here, and you'll be able to see all the performance here. Then, when you hover your mouse over this also has a tooltip that helps you to know whether that value here is a positive or negative change from that of the prior year using the color of the heading. So here, when I move here to this side, you can see that the background for the heading is now green, showing that this is an improvement. And we also have the same experiences for each of these values here. So I can click on any of these slices and I'll be able to filter the report here. If I want to move to another report, which is the original information here, you'll be able to analyze their revenue in terms of the segments or the areas that they are operating in. So here we have their performance for each of the quarters here. And then we also look at it in terms of the regions, the paid membership, and then the new members that were added. We are looking at the average monthly revenue per paying members across each of these regions. Then we also have the paid membership average, and then the total revenue by regions here. So all these reports here, everything here is very dynamic. And the next thing is this. You would agree with me that we still have some users and even our colleagues who prefer working in Excel. So when you build your report in Power BI, how then can you utilize it in Excel for those users or our colleagues who want to utilize the same model in Excel? Now with this model, we have built the same thing in Excel. So let me show you how this also works. So you can see that we have the same model here with our income statement, with those KPIs here, with these buttons showing whether we had an increase in the prior period. So here I have the slicer here, which I can also use to filter the data. And then the same thing with the trend analysis and the relative analysis, you'll also be able to utilize it within Excel. So here if I pick relative, you can see that we have the relative analysis. If you do trend analysis, you'll be able to see all these insights. The same way I can move to the balance sheet, which we have our balance sheet here, and the same way I can filter by year. And you can see that we get the same or similar experience when it comes to Power BI. So the model that we have built in Excel, we can combine the two applications together and you'll be able to utilize the model that you have built in Power BI within Excel. So here I can also move to the cash flow statement and you'll be able to see all those insights here. So I'm going to organize a masterclass, a live training, where I'm going to guide you through how you'll be able to build this from end to end. So I'm going to show you how you connect to the data set, how you are going to clean and transform it, and how you'll be able to model it and perform some additional computations using DAX. Then we look at how you'll be able to build these visuals and you'll be able to create a dynamic report using Power BI. So I'm going to include a link where you'll be able to register for this masterclass. We are going to start next week. So I'm encouraging you, if you want to learn how to build something like this in Power BI and in Excel, I'm encouraging you to sign up and you are going to learn everything from end to end and you'll be able to utilize the power of Power BI in financial modeling and financial